Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Gun Culture Radio. This time, instead of having Zeke talk at you guys and make you aware of the sponsor, I figured I would just do it myself. The sponsor for this podcast is SDI, Sonoran Desert Institute. You can check them out at sdi.edu. It's a really cool opportunity if you're interested in being a gunsmith. They have some other firearms technology degrees. Just check out their website. They do take GI Bill. So any veterans out there, it's a cool opportunity. You know, you can't hate a job, in the gun industry. I assume a lot of people listening to this show are gun nuts just like me. It's cool to be able to have a job doing something that you love. Turning a hobby into a job is the true American dream. It's not 2 cars in every garage and a white picket fence. It's having a job that you love. That's the American dream right there. And that should be everyone's dream. That should be the human dream, not just the American dream. Anyways, check that out, sdi.edu. Really appreciate them for the sponsorship. This show is not cheap to make. It's not too expensive either, but it does cost some money. So anyways, appreciate that, and hope you guys enjoy the show. All right, Derek's back again.
Yes, it's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah. So didn't you say you saw the new Jurassic Park movie?
Yes, I did. I'm very impressed. I like the backstory they gave. They found that shaving cream can with all the dinosaur DNA in it.
Yeah.
And that movie is exactly what would happen if Jurassic World really existed.
Yeah.
We take these animals and turn them into weapons. Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the scary things about that movie is it's real. I mean, it is and it isn't realistic. I mean, I could easily be convinced that we could develop technology to to clone dinosaurs. I mean,
oh heck yeah,
we've cloned sheep and stuff. I mean, I know that's a little different.
Slight difference, but yeah, you're right.
Not quite as big.
You clone a sheep, it's like okay. You clone a dinosaur, hey man, what are you doing?
Yeah.
what are you doing?
But it's kind of like if you can. If you can send a one-word email, then you could probably send a email of a novel eventually.
People think, I said this when the first Jurassic Park came out, that a lot of people think, it'd be fun to have dinosaurs back. Why?
Yeah.
These had to be the most dangerous animals around.
Yeah.
And if they were out there today, you'd be afraid to go out in your front yard. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, that part where the pterodactyls attacked the crowd.
Yeah.
Very cool. I had the same fantasy, except it was lions.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you, you can get a lot more bang for your buck with a lion.
Yeah. I don't know where they'd find that many lions.
I don't think there's a shortage of lions, is there?
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of lions, there's a YouTube video that I should have showed it to you before we started the show. But there's a YouTube video of one of those safari things where like you drive. They have like a bunch of animals out there, like African animals, and you like drive through in your personal car. And there was I can't remember if it was a lion. I'm thinking it was, but it was a big cat for sure. And it opened someone's door. Yeah.
Of course.
Opened the door, and they just barely got it closed in time.
Of course. Come on now. Hey, come on.
Man, that's scary.
Yeah. Was it, how did it do it? Did it just...
I'm not sure. I'm guessing it probably bit the handle. Probably.
Just knocked it off. I mean, okay, one thing, a lion or a tiger is a lot bigger in person.
Yeah. You've actually seen them.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have two in zoos, but you actually saw them
like when there ain't no moat between you and them. There ain't no fence. No electrified fence. It's just right there.
Yeah.
They are. It's a lot more terrifying when they're like right there.
Nothing in between you. Yeah.
And fortunately for me, this thing just finished eating like 2 zebras. So, so like, get out of here. You're okay. I'm full. No.
Yeah.
You saw me. No. Please, I'm full. Please, come on.
Maybe if you're around later.
They come back about 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah.
I'll be hungry. I always eat before I go to sleep. Come on.
Yeah. So you feel bad though if it got one of your buddies later on when it was hungry again.
I mean, hey. But these things are unbelievably large when you're in person, and they're very intimidating. Well, 600 pounds, 700 pounds. Oh my God, that's too much cat.
Yeah, and everybody's seen house cats and how quick they are and what they can do and stuff. I mean, you just maximize that times 10 or something. I mean,
oh yeah,
that's crazy. Dude. Yeah. But anyways, back to Jurassic Park. So we don't want to give any too many spoilers or anything.
That's right.
No big I don't want to like reveal the plot twist that the dinosaurs kill people. Oops, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that people get eaten. Oh my god. Yeah.
Oops. No one knew that was going to happen. But the whole idea of the raptors being used for military purposes is kind of interesting.
That would absolutely happen. That would absolutely happen.
It
Hell
would.
yeah! Come on.
Yeah.
Who needs a canine? I'll just get my raptor over here. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go get him.
Yeah.
Hey, that guy said that in the movie that what did they call the dinosaur that they generated? Did they have a name for it? I don't know. I probably couldn't pronounce it. But
I can't remember.
The one that they generated, it was like 30 feet tall, 50 feet long.
Yeah.
And for military purposes, they were going to just use it, shrink them down to maybe half that size, and use them to attack people.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cheap. I mean, cheaper than a drone, a predator.
Yeah.
Hey, dude.
That's true.
All right. Hey, you get about 3 or 4 of those, send them into a village, it's over.
And the fear that goes along with it.
Especially if you train them only to attack at night. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude.
That'd be horrific.
Dude.
I hope we don't live in a world of dinosaur warfare.
That's right. Well, I mean, you'd have to be able to afford it. Wouldn't once you got over the initial shock, and yes, I would be shocked if I saw a raptor walking down the street. Yes. And you start preparing for it, I mean, you have to put like landmines in your front yard and stuff.
Yeah.
Watch out, we let that cat out though.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the one thing about animals. I guess I've always said if you're involved in a bear attack, not that I'm speaking from any experience, the one advantage you have over a dangerous animal is that they understand like raw primal things, but they don't understand weapons or tools or anything like that. So if you raise a gun, they're not going to realize that, I better act now or I'm about to get shot. Like they're not likely to understand that.
On that point, how come in the movies, special forces guys can't shoot?
Yeah.
I hate to spoil it for anybody that ain't seen it yet, but for some reason, all these movies, SWAT teams, when they're fighting dinosaurs, monsters, or whatever, all of a sudden, the special forces, SWAT, Navy SEALs can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Yeah.
I mean, when they were shooting at the villain dinosaur, these contractors with all these automatic weapons, with all these machine guns, could not hit the broadside of a barn. Yeah. I'm at a loss.
Yeah.
I mean, why are we paying you again?
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
How come they didn't ask you for that job?
Dude, I would have been there.
Yeah.
I would have been there. I would have been there. Okay, how often is we're going to get out? Come on. I mean, come on. I'm making, $200K a year? Come on.
What about the guys that were like off that day?
I'd get that call. Hey, man, you need to come in. Team 1 just got eaten.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry, man. You need to come back now.
Yeah. They just got eaten alive. But no, seriously.
No, seriously. Really? He was eaten alive.
Yeah.
The part where he was shooting at the dinosaur with the 12 gauge. With a 12 gauge shotgun, firing slugs. He got off at least 6 rounds at point blank range, and that dinosaur just kind of shook it off. Okay, that's a movie.
Yeah,
it's a movie. One round from one slug will bring down a moose, which ain't too much smaller than a dinosaur. So,
well, yeah, that's an interesting thought too. Like an animal that's bigger than an elephant, let's say, like a dinosaur, what would be the effectiveness of a round like that? Like, I don't think their skin would necessarily be like too tough. It would still penetrate.
Shot placement.
Yeah, shot placement, like everything would be really important. But you think about it, a slug versus a big dinosaur is not going to be the same as a slug versus a deer.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, technically, you could kill a deer with a 22, really, if you hit it in the right spot.
You put enough rounds into him.
Yeah, if you put enough rounds to a deer with a 22, you could probably take it out. So you would think a dinosaur, you could get it eventually.
Hit it with a 12 gauge slug, less than 50 yards. Dude, that's going to hurt.
Depends on how big the dinosaur is, too.
T-Rex versus raptor,
or like a brontosaurus or something.
A brontosaurus. Hey, what's that? Hey, stop! Yeah. Hey, stop playing. Hey.
I'll just think it was a horsefly or
what's
something.
That? Hey, we'll see. Hey, maybe one day we'll see. Maybe one day we'll see. Who knows?
Yeah. There'll be a whole island just full of dinosaurs. They probably already have that. That's
they're just not telling us. Yeah, that's why they keep the aliens.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's an Illuminati plan to unleash dinosaurs.
Oh, here we go. All right, here we go.
I saw something on the internet about it. So.
Oh yeah, must be true.
Yeah.
Must be true.
Yeah, it has to be. Oh man, so who knows what technology is going to bring? You know, what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just we like to try to guess what the next big thing is going to be, but we're usually wrong. You know, we thought flying cars would be a thing.
Example.
And they don't even make sense.
That's right. Igor Sikorsky, the guy who came up with the functional helicopter in the late 1930s and 40s, his vision was that helicopters would replace cars.
Yeah.
And he wanted everybody to have one. They asked him like 30 years later, how did he feel? Did he still feel the same way? And he says, "Thank God, no."
Yeah.
He says, "Thank God that never happened, because look how dangerous it is out there now with just cars."
Yeah.
If people were flying around like you kidding, there'd be debris. You know, there would be debris everywhere. Come on. So people are scared enough of cars.
Yeah, and plus, I mean, when you think about how often people's cars break down and stuff, you know what I mean? Like flying is just it's a more complicated proposition.
I would hope that the licensing process for a helicopter will be a little bit more strict than for a car. I would hope so.
Well, except you'd have people driving without a license. And how are the cops going to pull people over on a helicopter? Hey, land.
They can fly behind a cloud. All right, all right. You in that field? All right. Do you know why? I stopped you?
Yeah. Do you know why I landed you?
No, officer, I don't. Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, and then you have like people driving drunk, like or flying drunk, like in
Delta Airlines.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm kidding, all you Delta employees listening. I am joking.
That's our key demographic. Pilots. No, like what's the movie? Leonardo DiCaprio where he plays the Wall Street guy, Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah,
you seen that one?
No.
Oh, well, there's a scene where he has his own helicopter, his own private helicopter, and he's like drunk and he's like landing it. So
of course
that would happen.
Yeah, he couldn't hurt himself. Oh, no problem. Happens every day.
Yeah,
it's a movie. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that would. Yeah, flying helicopter cars. No, that's not a good idea.
Probably a good idea that didn't happen.
Yeah, I think. I don't think any type of personal flying transport will probably ever make sense. I don't think until we have like teleportation or something,
or jetpacks. The old jets and jetpacks that you see. I think they have that, but
they do.
The problem is that they only have enough fuel for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's just
not practical.
Yeah. I think honestly, I think some type of either like automated self-driving system or like a rail system. I think ground transport is probably always going to be like
the
how
best
it goes.
way, the safest way to go.
Yeah, I think like rail systems will probably improve over time, where you have like trains that are like magnetic trains,
or like in DC, the train system, bus system is excellent. Same thing for Chicago. The larger cities, you don't really need a vehicle because their public transportation is excellent.
Yeah.
Once you learn that system, who needs a car? Come on.
Yeah, and that's great. That's an awesome thing.
Well, some places, not where we are right now.
Yeah.
People are used to having their own vehicles. It'll be tough to give it up.
Yeah.
But again, big city, New York, Chicago, it's a way to go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm the same way. Like, I'll always want to be able to drive like my own cars and stuff. But I love the option of public transportation. Like, I'll tell you, it would be cool is if there's a world where we don't need cars, but they're totally fine, and we can just have cars like for fun. And if we wanted to go somewhere, run down the store, might get in the car. But if we were like going across town or to work or something, then we just use public transportation and gas mileage and stuff like that. And it's not really a big deal with private cars. Again,
mostly your urban environment. That's the way to go.
Yeah. Do you trust would you ever trust a self-driving car?
No.
Google car?
No. What if it takes a wrong turn? I mean, who knows? Yeah. Because it's electronic, because it's a machine, it can fail.
Yeah.
And that one time it fails is when it's probably gonna be your last day.
Yeah.
Sorry. I mean,
It probably has some kind of built-in memory where it learns your habits and stuff. And you just get in, it just takes you somewhere. Like I just get in and I'm in a gun shop all of a sudden.
Well, I don't know. Considering these cell phones hardly ever work.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, I'll just go sleep and let the car take me to work.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, then people will figure out a way to hack into them. They'll rob you. They'll have it like drive to their garage.
You tell your car, hey, Corvette, this is the way to work.
Yeah.
What are we doing in the projects?
Yeah.
Come on. You know what's going to happen.
Why are those guys coming over to my car? And why is the door opening?
So, no. So anything electronic can break down. So
yeah. I mean, actually, I'm somewhat optimistic about the self-driving car. I mean, honestly, if the technology is there and it's done right, it could almost be safer than driving on your own. If everything is taken into account, you have all these sensors. It's completely 360 degrees, and it's analyzing everything constantly. Other than, like you said, the malfunctioning aspect of it. That's where it really causes a problem. But you could have a manual override, but then that kind of defeats the purpose of the self-driving car. Really,
if you're just going to drive yourself.
Yeah, if you got to constantly be ready to like hit a button and turn it on to manual. What's the point? The whole point of it to me is so I can just take a nap while it takes me places.
All right, Dad, take me to work. Go ahead. Kmart. Oh,
yeah.
Is Kmart still open? Are they still open? I don't know.
I think there's a few of them around.
Somewhere, okay. I show my age, boys and girls. Kmart.
Yeah. It's like, man, you go into a Kmart, it's like going back in time almost.
It's like, how old are you? What's that blue light for?
Yeah. They still got VHS tapes for sale.
What the hell? Beta? What the hell? Thank you. I can't show my age.
Yeah, dude, to me, VHS tapes are old. You're like, beta tapes.
Yeah, your audience is like, beta, what's that? Look it up, guys.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. There's no telling when it comes to that kind of stuff. But, I do think like transportation is going to be, that's one of our next big frontiers, I think. Maybe, again, like we were saying before, maybe we're thinking about it all wrong. Maybe our society is going to start moving to where you don't really need to go anywhere. That's the thing.
Society is becoming more urban. People are moving back to the cities. Why? People got tired of commuting. Back in the 50s, 60s, people left the big cities, went out to the suburbs.
Yeah.
Because they got tired of being crowded.
Right.
Now everything shifted back the other way. People are tired of the long commutes to work. It's a lot easier for people, your work, your job, everything you need is right there, one place.
Yeah.
People are moving back to the cities now.
I think internet may have played some role in that too, because or any of those kind of services, better access to higher tech services,
exactly,
and stuff, and also more localized businesses. I think maybe is one thing, because you notice the difference between like outskirt towns where like I don't want to name any names, give away our location. Everyone knows, but you've got like the big city, and whatever it is, and then you've got like little areas outside of it to where it's not like the city, but they have like all the typical stuff. Like there's a Walmart and probably a Best Buy and
of course there's a Walmart.
Yeah, exactly. There's one everywhere. All of that big stuff, but then you don't really have as much of like the cool like local businesses and little restaurants
that you can only get in the urban environment.
Yeah.
Well, one day here in Wyoming, one day here in Cheyenne, Wyoming, it'll be a big city one day.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, exactly. And the other day, I was driving down from Wyoming down to New Jersey. They had some pretty good places to eat down there.
My God, heck yeah! So I'll tell you, we're coming up here.
Yeah, but that is a cool trend too. Like the whole people moving back to urban environments. I'm kind of the other way around. Like I have respect for the city because it is cool. It's handy. I lived closer into the city for a little while. It's kind of nice. Just right down the road, there's a grocery store. I lived probably like a couple of minutes from Kroger, and that was kind of cool. But I also like to have some privacy.
Yes.
I like to think about where I live now in the suburbs. It's like you can't even have what you feel like is a private conversation even on the back porch.
Yeah.
And I grew up out in the country like you did, and so we're used to unless you're hollering real loud, nobody's gonna hear you.
Really being by yourself when you want to be. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You can take a piss off the back deck,
and there ain't nobody to see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now you get arrested.
Yeah. If I did that here, I think it might not work out too well.
I don't know. Hey, freedom, First Amendment.
Yeah. But so really, that's a good thing though. If more people want to, move into the cities, and hey, it's more for people like me, more room for us out in the country.
More room for us out here in the country.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, technology is definitely changing everything. But one thing though about transportation, that I think one of the most interesting things about it is this idea, we have like nationalism. We have these boundaries and countries, like, oh, you're from that country or you're from that state, or, you have that, you speak a different language, all this kind of stuff. And the world already has changed a lot just from just even from the time where it used to be you had to get on a ship for months to get to another country, to now where you can just get on a plane and you're there like that day or the next day. Think about how much even more dramatically it's going to change if we have some kind of technology to where we can get almost anywhere we want in the world, within like an hour or something. And it's easy. What if we had these like magnetic trains that we built to go across the ocean or something crazy like that?
In the new Total Recall with Colin Firth?
They might have.
Except that when they want to go from one part of the world to the other, they just went through the Earth's core.
Wow.
Okay. And the movie was okay, but that's how they got around.
I didn't like the reboot of it very much.
Oh hell yeah. The old
one's amazing.
With Schwarzenegger. Dude.
Oh man.
Dude. Arnold always had the great lines.
Yeah. And I love that like just the mind game of that movie where the guy comes up and he's like trying to get him to take the pill to get him back to reality, and you're never sure like if he's scamming him or if he's really
is he dreaming or is he not. And best line of the movie is Sharon Stone,
yeah,
his wife, who's also been trying to kill him.
Yeah.
Arnold gets a drop on her and says, she's like, "Oh, come on, John. You can't kill me. I'm your wife. You can't kill me." He shoots her in the head and says, "Consider that a divorce."
Yeah. They don't have great lines like that in movies
Arnold always
anymore.
gets great lines.
Yeah, I know. My favorite one is from Predator. In the beginning, when they were doing that raid on those those drug dealers, and he throws a big Bowie knife at some guy, and it goes through him and hits a post behind him. And he's like, "Stick around."
Okay. It's Arnold. Like, come on.
Yeah, you gotta love that kind of stuff.
Expect it.
Yeah, who cares if it's realistic or not? You used to say that kind of stuff though, right? When you were in the military.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude.
All the time.
All the time, dude. All the time.
You've always had like a list.
When I jumped out of a plane, I always yelled Geronimo. I always did that. Heck yeah, dude. Oh yeah, you shoot a guy, he falls in the water, cool off.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Come on, all the time.
Yeah. But think about though how drastically different our world would be though if we could get places that fast. Really that's the big problem right now. If you think about the reason that we're wanting to fight each other and stuff, because it's not the actual people usually in these other countries that want to fight. It's the institutions, that corrupt the people, and and they kind of sucker them into, because everybody wants to be, go their team, and it just, it's crazy. Like the ISIS thing, it's an identity. It's an identity for people. Like, I'm this. Like,
exactly.
I'm this guy. I believe this, and I get to hate these other people. And I've got people who support me and tell me that I'm good and I'm on their side.
Yeah, for a lot of people, it's something bigger than themselves to believe in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Exactly.
And they're very good at using social media.
Yeah.
They go after these young people, again, who maybe have identity issues, and get their attention. Hey, you can be part of something.
Yeah.
You can make a difference. Come on over.
Yeah.
But I do think jumping on a plane and flying to Syria is just a little bit extreme.
Yeah, I think so too.
My idea of getting involved is maybe a Boy Scout troop.
Yeah.
Something like that. But not, let's go over to Damascus and start shooting. No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
A little bit extreme.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing that we see in gangs in our own country. It's the same thing. Kids grow up poor neighborhoods. They don't have a lot of opportunities. But then there's this big group of people out there that they offer an identity. They offer lots of things. They offer money and respect and identity and all this kind of stuff. And you get blinded by the idea of all these kind of things. You forget about all the bad stuff.
Worked good for the Nazis too.
Yeah.
Uniform.
Yeah.
Something to believe in. Hey, got a job.
Yeah. I mean, just go on YouTube and watch some of those of Hitler's speeches. He was a master.
He was very good in public, but I've read accounts that one-on-one, he wasn't necessarily that good.
Yeah, wasn't he like real kind of weird and kind of off? And, I mean, obviously, but like other than that, like didn't he have a kind of a weird kind of quirky personality or something?
If I remember correctly, he had tendencies to turn people off.
Yeah.
But you put that guy from a crowd, he turned into somebody else. You couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
He could not. He was a political genius.
Yeah.
But one-on-one, you came away feeling like something's wrong.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Then that's the thing is like, that's a good example with the whole Nazi thing is they're playing off people off of the reality of the human condition, and people want to belong. Yes. They want to feel like, there's a strong sense of satisfaction that comes from like, yes, I'm in the right place.
Yeah.
Like, this is where I belong. There's no reason to even question it. Mm-hmm. And Hitler was able to, him and his organization, they were able to speak to that and to make people feel like, Nazis and white power, and we're gonna fix the world, and we're gonna show the world what they've been missing, and all this kind of stuff. It's powerful.
Offshoot of that, I saw this T-shirt in Germany, of all places.
Yeah.
It had the Pillsbury Doughboy throwing up the Hitler salute, and it said "White Flower." White flower. I should have bought it.
Yeah,
I should have bought it.
I might have to get one of those.
Oh wow, white flower.
Oh man, that's funny.
Even had a little mustache too. That was great.
Oh man, that's good stuff.
Or the one more I saw this. It was in Baghdad, in Iraq. This guy was selling these T-shirts. It says in English. It had English and Arabic writing, and the English part said, "Baghdad University, your kid's the bomb." What the? I should have got it. Why did I?
That's even better. Your kid's a bomb. Oh man,
Dude.
That's so wrong and awesome at the same time. Oh man.
My God.
Oh, that would definitely offend some people.
Oh yeah,
but that's what makes a great joke sometimes.
Dude. Well, a lot of people can't take a joke, and I would be afraid to wear that shirt in some places.
Yeah. I heard the guy. There's a podcast I listen to. Actually, his stickers on that microphone. Joe Rogan. He's the guy. He does the UFC.
Yeah.
He was on Fear Factor and all that. But he was talking about on a show one time about, because he's a comedian, about all the political correctness and stuff. And somehow there's this bar somewhere where they had a sign as you went in, and it said, let's see, we like our violence like we like our beer, domestic.
That's good.
And just a joke, And then someone took a picture of it and put it online, and then it became this big deal, and they had to like take it down.
Oh my God.
All this kind of stuff. And he was like making the point, like, what, is someone gonna come in there and read that and all of a sudden decide, you know what? I've just never had the courage to hit my wife.
That's right.
But this sign showed me I could do it.
Okay, you gotta be able to take a joke. You can't get offended over everything. Example, I'll give an example from years ago. Again, I can take a joke. Believe me. I'm going down this highway in this certain state, and they should remain nameless.
Yep.
And this truck passes me, and on the back of this pickup, I see a bumper sticker that said, "If I'd known this, I would have picked my own cotton." I had to give it up. Okay, it was funny. All right, I had to give it up. Okay. Now, some people be insulted by that.
Yeah.
Not me. I thought that's pretty good, dude. That's pretty good. Come on, man. That's a good joke. Hey.
Yeah, I mean, that's actually a really good example of like a racial joke that actually is funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not funny because it's like, oh, look, it's racist, and I'm not afraid to say it.
God.
Like, that's actually
it's funny. Come on, man. Relax. It's a joke. Come on.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I know. Like, I've been glad to see all that. Like, lately in the media, there's been a big thing about like political correctness and all this kind of stuff.
Oh my God.
And
Here we go.
it's been, well, it's like in the good way, because there's been a lot of people speaking out, like comedians especially, about how we've got to like chill out with this political correctness, especially when we're talking about jokes.
Yeah.
Like if someone says something hateful and they're being serious, that's different, and of course, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but like, it's a free country. You're not going to go to jail for saying something. But hey, if it's offensive, like people are going to let you know. But jokes though, it's a joke. Like that's been like what's spawned a lot of it is the whole like Bruce / Caitlyn Jenner thing, where it's like it's so there's such a hard push, which I think it's fine. Like if he wants to do that, I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't affect me. I think people can do whatever they want. It doesn't affect me. But the problem is, because of the past, like where you rewind, someone like that might just get murdered.
Oh well, yeah. It's a different time now.
Yeah, it is. And it's a good thing. But
how old was he? What? He's 68 now. What?
He's pretty old, I think.
He's 67, 68 years old. Decides he wants to be a woman.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you've done everything else.
I mean, won the Olympic decathlon, married the Kardashians, become a woman.
He's just an overachiever. That's all.
That's right. That's all that is.
It's like he just sat around and was like, what have I not done?
So it's his business. He got guts.
Yeah.
To be himself. I'll give it up to him. Good luck.
Yeah.
Caitlyn, good luck.
Yeah, exactly. So that's been actually an interesting topic in the news is because of that, people are being almost overly sensitive. Like when comedians want to make a joke about it, it's funny. Like it's still funny. Like you don't have to. It doesn't have to be. It's not that you're saying it's a bad thing or they don't have the right to do it. It's funny. I mean, it's an unusual thing. That's what makes it funny. It doesn't happen every day. If everyone decided they wanted to be a woman, then it wouldn't be that funny.
Yeah, let's hope that day does not come.
Yes,
that's all right.
Yeah. So it's like people can't. People take it just way too serious.
Can't be too sensitive. I mean, relax. I mean, people got their opinion. Relax. Don't get upset. In fact, you'll be doing yourself a favor by not getting upset every time you hear something that you think you don't like.
Yeah.
Like you said, people got a right to their opinion. Let them have it. It's fine. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
So come on.
And then you go the other way. Like I've been in situations where there's you got the racial tension and stuff like that with people.
Racial tension? What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I've been around people where, especially playing basketball, where you have a nice mix of black and white players. And you'll see some of the white guys, they'll like go overboard with the racial jokes just to like show like, hey, look how comfortable I am. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I always kind of was like, I could always tell it's like the black guys on the team, they don't like that. You know what I mean? Like they act like they do. They laugh and stuff.
Yeah,
it's like,
whatever, dude. Whatever. Okay, fine. Yeah. Just pass me the ball.
Yeah, just chill out. Like, we get it. I'm black. You're white.
Okay, I got that. I noticed as soon as we came in the room, I picked it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
All right, relax, man.
Yeah.
So, dude, goodbye.
Yeah, so there's that side of it, but still, also, people should make jokes about each other. Who cares?
I mean,
I feel like I made 0 point right there.
Coming from where I came from, in the old South. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like that Colonel Sanders.
Yeah,
anyway,
I liked it. Like the new Colonel Sanders. Have you seen it?
Boy, they backed off of the Southern just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little, yeah.
Coming from the old way down south where I came from, you had to get used to that kind of thing. You had to. It was just part of life. And the way my parents came up, you couldn't let that bother you. You couldn't. Yeah. Because all that was going to lead to was a lot of frustration. So, you know what? Hey, man, you know what? Good joke. Hey, that joke about picking your own cotton, that was funny, man. Have a nice day. Yeah. Don't get upset. Yeah. Well, you kidding. I come from way down south. I saw more Confederate flags than you will ever see. Yeah. So don't bother me. Knock yourself out. Yeah. Hey, dude, have a nice day. Yeah. It's cool. So, and I think a lot of what you see is that a lot of people do it to get a rise out of you. Yeah. They'll do something, they'll say something to get a rise out of you. The desire to be edgy. Yeah, exactly. And then once they realize that, hey, man, he ain't bothered by what I'm saying. Yeah. They'll probably stop. Like the guys, riding around. I've been seeing a lot of it lately. Man, guys riding around their pickup trucks with the Confederate flag, like a gigantic one that's like the size of their truck, waving around and stuff. I don't know. It's like, it really seems like they're just going, like just being edgy for the sake of edgy. Oh, yeah. It really is what it seems like. It doesn't really seem like there's any like real concrete, belief that makes sense behind it. It's like no one ever said you couldn't have your flag on a truck. That'd be one thing. If there was some kind of thing where it was like, oh, we've got to, make, showing this flag a hate crime. That would be one thing. That would be ridiculous. It's a flag. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, chill out. All they're saying is some people are offended by it. Yeah. And it's flying on state property. Yeah. And it's being flown in a way that looks like the government of the state and the United States of America is supporting a flag that has a questionable history and it's associated with an uprising against our country. That too many people have used for something that was never intended. Right. Usually a lot of people with attitude. I got an attitude. Yeah. They run up a Confederate flag. My experience, that's what a lot of it's been. People using it for what it was never intended to be used for. It's just, again, to get a rise out of you. To get to be edgy. Yeah, exactly. So,
You know, and that's not good. But you know, it's a free country. You know,
exactly.
But if people my take on the whole Confederate flag thing is, if enough people are offended by it to get it taken down, then they should take it down.
And that's that. They voted. It came down. Okay, leave it at that.
Yeah, if not enough people are offended to get it taken down, then it's probably not that big of a deal.
Exactly.
You know.
So hey.
I don't know. It's just one of those. It's just something for people to argue about.
Be upset about. I mean, that I never thought about till this happened. So
yeah, I know. It never even crossed my mind. I didn't even know that they flew it. You know, up there.
I didn't either. I mean,
yeah. I don't guess I've ever been to South Carolina. That's one part of the country I haven't been to much.
Dude, it's hot.
Yeah.
It is hot. I mean, I thought Georgia was hot. No, South Carolina is hot.
Really?
So, dude.
I guess it's probably because it's more humid, I guess, and being closer to the coast.
Hell, dude. Heck yeah. If you go there, go along the coast. Go to Charleston or Myrtle Beach, somewhere like that, because at least you got the ocean breeze coming in.
Oh, yeah.
You go into the interior, look out. It is hot. It is hot there. Dude.
Yeah. And not a dry heat like that Iraq stuff.
No, it is a fully a wet, humid, bubbly heat.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how it is right here in Alaska.
Yeah, just south of Wyoming. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, the humidity, man, it drains you. It's like you can't breathe as well. It's just, we've been out there and filming videos and stuff, and it's treacherous, but I can't complain. It's good, but hey, it's good for losing weight. So.
Oh yeah, of course. I can do some of that. Remember the CGI, some 6-pack abs in here.
Oh yeah,
okay?
yeah. I'll get Jeremy to do that.
That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna look buff. I'm sitting here in this chair. I don't need some beer. I need like a Bud. Old school can of Bud. Yeah. How you doing there, John?
Well, that reminds me. Speaking of Jeremy, the people who don't know who he is, he's the editor of the show and stuff. But Miller Lite came out with the old can. They brought back the old can.
Yeah.
And he said whenever it came out, he called that the Beat Your Wife can.
Oh,
he's like, that's the Beat Your Wife beer.
Oh, dude. Dude.
It is like when you see those old beer cans, like you can't help but think of like some old redneck, like one of those like wife beater shirts.
Of course, he drinks it and squeezes the can, or crushes it on his skull or something. Come on, man.
It ain't from around here, son.
Ain't from around here area.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, dude, take it easy.
Yeah, that's another thing. You ever notice how you could be going back some country road and way back in the sticks, and people are looking at you like, who is this guy? I've never seen him before. Come out there, shotgun. But as soon as you go, hey, wave to him, they're like, oh, okay, he's fine. That's funny. Yeah, Southerners were some interesting people, I guess.
Yes, we tend to be that way. Yes, by God, yes.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing is, I hate that, because of the racism issue, is like Southern culture gets such a bad rap.
It is
for that.
Okay, I'll say this. It can be an unfair stereotype. I'm here to tell you. I've been all over this place, and whatever racism is out there everywhere. Not just the South. Now, the stereotype is Southern racist guy. No.
Yeah.
I got to say this. I see a lot of folks in the South that go out of their way to show that they're not racist.
Yeah, and the Northeast can be pretty bad for racism.
Heck yeah. They go, I mean, when I was up in Ohio, by God, up on the Ohio River.
Yeah. Take a flatboat up there.
I got a team of mules that dragged me along the riverbank on the Erie Canal. By God. So, anyway. The racism was a little bit different. It's more subdued. Yes, yeah. Which I hated that. I mean, don't smile in my face and go and then talk crap behind my back. I hate that.
Yeah.
I'm used to Georgia, Alabama. I don't like you. I don't like you, black boy. I don't like you. But we got to work together. So come on now.
Yeah.
It's just out there, and and I think it's being honest, and I appreciate it. Back from those days, people, they felt the way they did, but we still have to work together. So let's go. And they were just honest, and I appreciated that. Other places, it's all that subversive, that covert stuff.
Yeah.
How you doing, Big John? I can't stand that. How you doing? I love you. Hey, have you over for dinner? I hope we don't come.
No. These people.
Exactly. So
whenever someone says those two words, these people, it's never good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That is a big stereotype, though. Yeah, it's only the South. There is racism in the South. Of course there is, but it's everywhere.
Everywhere else too. Thank you, and I'll defend the South on that. By God, it's everywhere.
And then and also gun people get stereotyped too. Like people think, oh yeah, these people and their guns, these knuckle draggers, and all this kind of stuff. And it's unfortunate when a lot of the time, what happens is you have, the whatever group it is, whatever subculture you have, it always gets defined by the worst people in it.
Well, those are the only ones you see. When the riot happens, they always find the most ignorant guy. Out there, whenever the arson's going on, they always find the most ignorant person in that neighborhood to go talk to.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of people fit the stereotype so well.
Yeah.
I mean,
and even with like the recent, like the Baltimore riots and stuff, you don't know how much of that. I heard some guy talking about how they, the news, they kept showing the same building that was burning, because there actually wasn't that as many as they said.
Like in Ferguson, they kept showing the same car burning, the same cop car burning over and over.
Yeah.
And also in Baltimore, they just canned their chief of police. Also, the murder rate has gone up, I believe.
Yeah.
They feel like a lot of cops are like, no. If I do anything, you're going to throw it back at me. So no.
Yeah.
So
the problem to me in this situation, it's not cops. It's the fact that cops are being asked to do a nearly like impossible job.
Yeah.
Because they're having to, because these communities are so broken down, and because of the drug war, that's how they can make money.
Yeah.
Once you get into the system, I mean, it's so easy to get into the system, like we talked about before. Once you get into the system, then you're just really screwed. You can't get a job anywhere. And then there's this guy that you've known, and he's like, hey man, just here, I'll sell you this for $100. You go on the street, and you can double your money. Of course, they're going to do that.
That movie Traffic. We talked about it.
I don't think I've seen all of it. I've seen parts of that.
The guy talked about the senator was trying to find his daughter and asked her boyfriend, why would somebody do this? How did somebody end up down here? And the boyfriend looked over with this astonished look at the father and says, are you kidding? You can go out here and make $600, $700 in 2 hours, and then spend the rest of your day doing what you want.
Yeah.
He says, are you kidding? Why am I in college? So, dude, but that life, to be honest, has a very short expiration date.
It does.
I mean, you're not going to last. If you stay out on that street, you're not going to last.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. And everybody thinks they're going to be Scarface. Everybody thinks they're going to be Al Pacino.
Yeah.
But we know what happened to him, no, do they?
Yeah, exactly. And they get hooked on the money, and they're not. It'd be one thing if like they just made a bunch of money and then got out or something. But that never happens.
Do that. One guy that in the Army that we hooked up, he was selling drugs in the Army, and he was from Houston. And as we're taking him to jail, he's told us, he says, hey, man, I mean, once you start doing that, you're making, this guy was pulling out like $20K a week.
Yeah.
He says, you can't go back to minimum wage after that.
Yeah.
I mean, but come on. I mean, you can't do stupid stuff. Like you see the 6 cars in the park, and the 6 cars parked in your yard. The Escalade, the Hummer, the BMW. Okay. Yeah. All right. Come on now.
Yeah, and I only worked security for like a year in various spots, and I can spot dope dealers pretty quick usually.
Well, they carry cash, which is big no.
Yeah,
that's the mark. That's the mark of the low level dope man. If you want to impress anybody, you pull out a American Express black card. Yes, sir. Right this way, sir. Yes, sir. Then now you got my attention.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but you see them, the big wads of cash, which.
They always show up to the club. Yeah,
that's probably all the money you got right there.
Exactly.
Come on, dude. You ain't impressing nobody.
Man, they used to. You would have lost your mind if you worked at those clubs that I used to work at out there. I mean, it's the same stuff. It was just more concentrated at like one, because I worked outside, so it'd be like really nothing would happen until they would empty out the club, and then everybody would come outside. And it was just mayhem for like 45 minutes. But they would. I remember there's this one guy that they would ride around in this Hummer, and it had a sunroof on the top of it. And I remember he got up, sticking half his body up out the sunroof, and he had money like fanned out, and he was like flashing it, like shaking it around and stuff. And he was like, I got 7 cars and 4 houses and all this kind of stuff.
All right. Okay. Whatever, dude. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
The same guys that we hooked up, and they all said the same thing. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time. If you get blasted, you get shot, nobody feels sorry for you because you knew.
Yeah.
You knew this could happen. Or you end up in jail, you get that first felony. In fact, this guy put a time limit on it. He says from the minute you start selling dope, 18 months before you get your first felony.
Yeah.
18 months. Because you're right. If people could just get in and get out, you'd be good to go.
Yeah.
But some former dope men have all told me the same thing. Greed gets you every time.
Yeah.
Greed.
Yeah.
Like those New York prisons. One guy who got busted up in New York on Rikers Island bringing stuff in. He says greed got him. He says for a pack of cigarettes you get $300.
Man.
And he says, and then once you do it once, they got you.
Yeah.
Because they got something on you. And he says the most he ever made bringing stuff into the facility was he made $150K in a month.
Wow.
Dude, I'm like, I'm done. Bye.
Yeah.
Gone. I mean, quit. And he says he should have done that, but greed got him. He says, if I made $150K this month, well, maybe I'll get another $150K next month, and then I'll quit.
Yeah.
But you won't.
Yeah.
Because how do you go back just living on Joe Blow money?
Yeah.
When you're used to pulling down $150K a month.
Because you keep telling yourself, I'll just do it a little
little
longer.
bit more. Yeah, a little
longer.
bit, just one more time.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Inmates snitched him out.
Yeah.
Of course. Because these people, once they get in trouble, it was him. The big CO over there, it was him.
Yeah.
And he did 2 years. So
yeah. That's why I think before we can really take care of the police brutality problems, we have to take care of the drug trade problems. And I mean, I think honestly, the only way I can think of to take care of the problem is some form of decriminalization. I'm not saying legalize, crack shouldn't be sold in stores. I'm gonna head down.
Excuse me, sir. Where do you keep your crack?
Yeah.
That's right next to the pineapples, ma'am. Third row down.
I'm gonna head down to the crack dispensary.
In the movies with your hot buttered crack.
Yeah. Oh man. But the thing is that the thing that makes it so violent is the fact that it's worth so much money.
Even in what they found out too, even in Washington and Colorado, where they've legalized dope, it hasn't went away. The dope man's still out there. He undersells the state.
Yeah.
Because state dope is expensive, dude.
Yeah.
They got like a 53% sales tax. So the dope man just undersells them.
And really the hard drugs are what's causing the big problems there.
Yeah.
Because when you're talking about pot and stuff, a lot of people buy pot from it's some random dude that you know what I mean. It's not like I don't think there's many people buying pot like going down to the street corner and
at night 2 in the morning. Hey man, no.
You throw your money in a hole in some brick wall. And they toss the little bag out.
From some of the dope men I've talked to around here tell me, what people pay for by paying all that money for their weed is a safe environment.
Yeah.
They want to go by Kroger's, get their milk and bread, and let me stop by the dispensary and buy their dope and then have a nice day.
Yeah.
They don't want to have to meet anybody at night on the side of the road.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. It's a safe environment, and you don't want to have to worry about police or some guy jumping out of the bushes.
Yeah.
It's just you're paying for it, but it's safer.
Yeah, and what I always thought was kind of odd is that we don't outlaw things that are poisonous. We don't outlaw poisonous mushrooms aren't illegal. Different whatever. What's the one? I just forgot. Drew a blank out. There's a poison that you can get out of trees, but that stuff's not illegal. And you die from it. And it's kind of crazy. So it's not about keeping people safe. Mm-hmm. It's just, but for some reason, let's say there was some kind of plant that was dangerous to people. Mm-hmm. If all of a sudden a bunch of people started, using it and taking it because they got some kind of desired effect out of it, then they would make it illegal. Oh. So it's like they're trying to control people's minds almost more so than they are trying to keep people safe. Because it's like a thought crime.
It's abuse. I mean, as always, the problem with any of these drugs is abuse.
Yeah.
Irresponsible use.
Yeah.
If people would just stay home, get high, and just
Yeah.
You could buy that stuff at Walmart.
Yeah.
If people would do that, but they don't.
Yeah.
Just like alcohol and all that. Well, you know what? Now that I just had my cocaine, let's go drive down the highway.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
stop right now. No.
Exactly. And there's laws in place for that. It's kind of like guns where, like saying that I can't own a sawed-off shotgun without going through an insane amount of paperwork.
Yeah.
It's a thought crime because obviously there's nothing inherently dangerous about that item.
No.
It's they're anticipating that I'm going to do something
The
dangerous.
potential for irresponsible use.
Right. And I look at drugs the same way. Their illegalization is a thought crime. But like there's already laws in place. If someone gets high and they get on the road, well, there's laws in place to protect that. They should go to jail. If they hurt someone, just like if someone gets really drunk, like if you buy a bunch of alcohol, it's totally fine. It's illegal. But if you get really drunk and beat up somebody or rape somebody or assault somebody somehow, you're going to go to jail for that.
Yeah. The also so a new trend now is that people are going away from the prescription drugs now, like OxyContin.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going away from that. Heroin's cheaper.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. You know what? Keep that Oxy. I don't need that. Just get my honey. Could you get the heroin for me? I mean, come on.
That's a big problem in the South because people got so hooked on pills because there's a lot of pill mills and stuff, and they thought they were doing a good thing by cracking down on that. But in turn, it just upped the heroin trade.
I mean, and heroin turns into morphine inside your liver. By the way, thank you.
Yeah.
If it ain't one thing, it's something else. Come on now, come on.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy. And and the way that we view like substances like drugs in this country is it's kind of weird. It really is. Like sugar, for example. Sugar is almost as unhealthy as a lot of drugs. It really is. I was watching this
abuse of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's with anything. It takes a certain amount of it to be bad. I was watching this thing not too long ago. This documentary on Netflix called Fed Up, and I'd heard about this before, but they were talking about sugar. They were explaining like how sugar is the thing that causes weight gain, not fat, because something about if you process something about the way your body processes sugar, if there's not fiber with it, then it like automatically like your body doesn't know what to do with that, so it stores it.
If you're not being active, you're not doing anything to burn off all these calories that you're taking in. Yeah,
exactly.
It's gonna sit there.
Yeah.
Like right here.
Right here.
I'll work. Come on, starvation. I ain't worried. Come on. I'll outlast them all.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on.
Yeah, the fattest man in the world will be the last one dead.
Exactly. Like that movie Alive, the fat guy, no problem.
Yeah.
Hey, all right, how you doing? Where's everybody else? I don't know, but I'm okay now. I finally got to get rid of that gut.
Yeah. So supposedly, I think don't you eat, your body starts eating your muscle first, I think.
But if you're a big person, you're good to go. You get trapped on the mountain. If you're starving on the mountain, the in shape guy, he's gonna be the first to go.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, all right. What's the matter, skinny boy? Look hungry over there.
See, I've always thought, the way to do it would be if you're stranded on an island with no food, instead of letting your body just eat all your muscles evenly. Since you're going to need some of those muscles, just go ahead and amputate your leg.
Save time.
Eat your leg.
That's right.
That way, you have
saves
something.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on, I was going to lose it anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of losing a little bit of everything, just one part.
Just have a full stomach as you're going into shock.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh man,
what were we talking about again? I forgot.
Oh yeah, I don't remember. It doesn't matter. I was getting on my usual rant about sugar and drugs, but me, I like to talk about that. But speaking of survival situations, one thing that I think I have fun thinking about, even though it would be a horrible situation if it happened, is like the bug out situation. Like, if things did fall apart for long enough, which I think is very unlikely. If things did fall apart, I think it would be short lived. And
when you decide, okay, we're on it, we're going. When do you make that decision?
That's a tough call because everybody else is going to have the same idea.
Yeah. Well, you got to make the decision, and also where do you go?
Yeah.
Where we're heading.
I've always thought, like the hills. I would head for the mountains. Realistically. give away our location, but it's probably too far from Gatlinburg, like the Rocky Mountains, the Smoky Mountain. Yeah, the Rocky Mountains in Gatlinburg, the East Tennessee Rocky Mountains. But no, I always thought I would try to make for the Smoky Mountains. But a lot of people will probably have that idea, and they'll probably get there before me.
Especially in Knoxville, yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, sorry, I can't hack the cold weather. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm heading for the swamps. Heading for downs, heading south. I'm going further south. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably good. Yeah, that's probably the best idea.
Hey, I won't be like that guy in Texas that jumped in that creek full of gators.
Oh,
You hear about that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, some guy in Texas. It's the first gator attack that Texas has ever recorded in years.
Wow.
This guy that's at this pier on this coastal.
You don't want that to be on your resume. First gator attack in years.
Again, the guy come down there. He had to be drunk. Had to be. Him and his girlfriend are out there at night. Let's go for a swim. The person on the pier, the attendant at this marina, is like, hey, points to a sign that says, "Alligators in water. Stay out of water."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, screw the alligators." And the attendant said, "Hey, sir, there's 10-foot gators in there. Do not go in that water." And he said, "Blank the gators," and jumped in. And by all accounts, as soon as he hit that water, he was screaming for help immediately. They drug him under. The attendant said she watched him get drunk under twice, and then he was gone.
Don't they they grab you, take you under, and then
drown you?
They roll, right?
Yeah, and they drown you, and then they finish you off. They found what was left of his body downstream the next day. Again, two most abundant elements in the universe: hydrogen and stupidity.
Yeah.
That guy was a complete moron. What was he thinking?
Yeah.
What was he? It said, big sign: alligators in here.
Yeah.
Do not go in there.
Yeah.
Screw them. They probably ain't no gators around here.
Yeah.
Hey, what's that log over there? Don't worry about it. Come on.
He thought he was Steve Irwin or something.
He put Steve Irwin High School. Oh, dude, that's going way back. Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Okay.
That guy was something else.
Well, come on. That's why we watched the show.
Yeah.
We all knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, he was the real deal.
I mean,
that's the thing. You got to give it to him. All these phony reality shows and all this stuff. He was the real deal.
The guys playing with cobras, not a problem. Dangerous tigers, not a problem. Stingray gets him. First time in 100 years a stingray's killed anybody in Australia. It's him.
Yeah.
Dude.
But, still, though, he went out doing what he loved.
I give it up to him.
You know what I mean?
Hey. I'm messing with animals that were minding their own business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Minding their own business. He went over there and started messing with them.
Yeah.
We all knew it was going to happen. So that's why we watched the show.
Yeah. He's a great dude. I mean, I don't know him personally, but he seems like an awesome person. A great example of it's not about how long you live; it's about the quality of your life. Right. He died younger than he could have. Man, he was out. He did so much stuff. Like he had 10 lifetimes worth of experiences.
What was his degree? He had a wildlife park. Was he a zoologist? I'm trying to think.
I'm not sure exactly. I forget.
He had something where he.
They had his own zoo.
Yeah. So he had to be like a biologist or something.
Yeah, because he did that I think a long time before the show.
Before the show,
he had it was like a show. I mean, he had a show, but it wasn't like televised.
He was world famous in Australia. So
yeah.
So and then the show picked up over here, but he caught flack because he held his newborn baby over the alligator. Okay, Steve, we understand. You know what you're doing, but still, come on.
Yeah, that was probably a little much, but the thing is, though, he's around those things all the time. So to him, that wasn't even a risk, probably.
That's what he said. And also another thing he said came back to haunt him. He says, if you're ever attacked by an animal, it's because you put yourself in the position to be attacked.
Yeah.
Ominous words.
Yeah, and he constantly did that to himself.
Yeah, exactly. He did that every day.
Yeah, and he knew it, I think.
It's what he did.
Yeah.
It's what he did.
Man, he used to take snake bites just like a man. I mean,
snake's biting me.
He would use it as an example. Oh, you can see how it's biting.
Honey, get the antivenom.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. We're fine.
Yeah.
Dude, no way.
Man,
no way.
Yeah, he was something else. I saw one where he had this big snapping turtle that he pulled up out of this still lake, and man, he was holding the thing. And they showed it in slow motion. It reached out and tried to bite his neck.
Oh!
And I mean, its neck was like that, right? When it was just sitting there, but it stretched I mean, it like doubled or tripled in length. It was insane. I mean, it almost got him.
Oh my God!
He had quick reflexes.
Great for TV. Great TV. Hey.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, he had courage. What was the other guy that did that? I never liked him very much. What was his name? I want to say it was like Jeff something. I don't know. When I was a kid, I used to watch Animal Planet all the time.
Oh, sorry. Going further back, Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. Ask your dad; he'll remember that one.
Oh, I know. I know you're talking about.
Marlon Perkins. He's always out there. This average old white guy, Joe Blow out there. That's a hippopotamus. Let's go out there, and he'd go out there and try to put it in a headlock. Yes, the hippopotamus is known for its strength. Who is this guy? What's he doing? And he was a 1970s Steve Irwin. He did the exact same thing, except he was like, but the guy was tough. He was like 70.
Yeah,
out there fighting gators. I mean, dude. All right, dude.
Man, I wouldn't mess with a hippopotamus. They're supposed to be one of the most dangerous animals.
Yes, they are. They kill people every year. I mean, dude. And it's not Henrietta Hippo, with the big eyelashes and the pink bow. No, these things are dangerous. They will attack you and kill you.
Yeah.
So
they also really like to eat like little white balls.
Glad you said that.
No, the game, Hungry Hippo.
Oh, God, that's right. Thank you. Okay, that's where my mind went.
Dude, you took it to that level.
Hey, I don't know. What was I supposed to think?
Come on, you never played that game when you were a kid? They didn't have that down in Georgia?
Yeah, they had. I watched. I never played it. I watched it.
I don't know what the point of that game was.
Dude. So, but
oh man, yeah. Let's see. What was? I know you got to go here.
Where we at? Out of heck.
Oh yeah, there was. Do what?
Nothing. Nothing.
Oh yeah, one more. Yeah, one more. We'll get to one more thing on here. I had a bunch of stuff, but one thing that I wanted to bring up too. Is notice the lack of effort in the transition there.
Check. Okay. Hippos. Check. Fever. Check.
I definitely had all that written down.
Escape into the mountain. Check. Confederate flag. Check. Okay. All right.
But speaking of Georgia, though, I was in Georgia recently. We Dad and I went down there and spoke to a. I feel bad, I forget their name, but they were. It was a women's gun organization. We spoke to them, and so anyways, when we were there, went out to eat afterwards, and someone had told me this years ago, and I'd forgotten about it. But they were talking about how in Georgia, you can carry a gun in there if you have a carry permit. You can carry a gun into a restaurant that serves alcohol, just like in a lot of places. But the difference is, you can actually have a beer if you want to, or a glass of wine, as long as you're not over the limit. Then it's okay if you have your gun. I think that's really awesome, because if one beer is okay to drink and then go get in behind the vehicle, behind the wheel of a car, then why can't you still carry your gun? But that's something that, like, you brought that up to a lot of people, and they go, "What the hell are you talking about? That's crazy."
Because a lot of people aren't responsible. Too many aren't responsible, and they would go overboard. And the guy, well, I'll just have 5 shots, and then now he's got a weapon.
Yeah.
What are you looking at? Uh-oh.
Yeah. But in a way, I see it kind of like the open container law, where it's one of those laws where it just makes it's not there because it's important to public safety. It's there because it makes it easier for law enforcement. Yeah. Because they're like, it's very black and white. Does he have a gun? Is he drinking?
Yeah.
It's more involved if it's not just he has a gun and he's drinking bad. But you have to go, he has a gun, how much has he been drinking? I've never liked laws where I feel like they're not there, to serve people. They're more there to serve the administrators of our government. You know what I mean? Like, laws are supposed to serve people.
Yeah.
Like other people.
In the big picture, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I wish every state would have that, because just because you had a beer, you can't defend yourself?
True. I think, again, the only thing they're worried about is the jerk that doesn't do the right thing, which he's out there anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
He's out there. He'll just leave the gun in the car, then go get it once he's gets drunk.
Yeah, or carry the gun anyways and get drunk and shoot people.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You can't, unless you pat everyone down that comes in there. I mean, you can't stop it.
Which is probably a good idea.
Expensive. But yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, some guy stopped me at this other place, and he says, "I'm sorry, sir," because he showed me his identification, and I happened to see his carry permit. And he said, I said, "Sir, you're not carrying your weapon, are you?" And he goes, "Well, so what if I am?" Okay, what I wanted to say was, you come through this door with a weapon, there's gonna be a problem for you. But I said, well, sir, according to the such and such law annotated, you can't carry a gun. And he says, all right, I ain't packing no gun. Don't worry about it. Yeah, dude. If you what I should have said to him, if you come in here and I with a weapon and I see you, it's gonna be a bad day for you.
Yeah, I hate it when there's those guys that they try to be a tough guy about their carry permit. That's just so lame.
You can't have a gun in this place, in this state. You know that.
Yeah.
But come on now, nobody else check. Hey, relax.
Yeah.
So again, it only takes one idiot. Yeah. Unfortunately.
And I hate that. It shouldn't. Like, there's always going to be one idiot. And that shouldn't ruin it for everybody. That used to, when I was in school, that used to piss me off. There'd be some privilege that you got, in the class or whatever, and then somebody would abuse it. And it's like, oh, well, now we can't do that anymore. I always hated that. It's like, come on, just punish that guy. Let everybody else still do it. It's crazy. But, all right, man. I know you got to go, and but we'll do it again soon sometime.
Okay, thanks.
As usual.
Okay, thanks for putting that in there. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Now you have an obligation.
That's all right, by God. Dude. And don't forget to CGI those abs, okay?
Okay. All right. We'll get Michael Bay on that.
I'm looking at that film. My gut is huge. Come on.
I did that just to motivate you, man.
Oh, my God.
Start
I got to the gym. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
All right, man. We'll do it again. See you later.